Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to get started in StreamYard, how to set up your studios, and more importantly, how you can have multiple shows in just one studio so that you do not need to have like 5 different studios open. So, getting familiar with the StreamYard website. StreamYard is purely website based, so you have nothing to download, so it's easier on your computer. On the left hand side we have our home screen, which is where we create everything that we need to create. We will do that right now. So you've got your live stream, your recordings and your webinars. So if we click on live stream, you're going to be going into your studio, and then you want to click on reusable studio. Now what this does, let's give it a name, so let's just call it my studio, and then you can select your destination there and schedule if you want to. I'll do that for now, so let's just call this StreamYard setup. The description, you can put whatever you want in there. You would use your usual YouTube settings and categories, and then you will click schedule for later. Now I usually go live on my streams Mondays at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. British time, so I will set that up there. You can upload a thumbnail if you have a thumbnail ready. I don't, but I'll just enter in a thumbnail that I used in a previous live stream, and then you would click create live stream. So we create it. This will then create the studio for us. Once we have this studio created, you can click on this button if you want to edit anything in there. You want to change the time or you want to change the title. It doesn't, you can just do that all right there. You can enter the studio here, and then this is where you see you've got the webcam. Let me just go into the settings, the visual effects, and take that off there. And there we go. So you can see my microphone is working, my webcam is working. You can have whatever name you want here. You can have your real name, you can have your YouTube channel name, whatever you want to be called in that stream, that's what you would put in there. And then here is your studio. So the first thing I would do is add myself to the stage so I can see how things are going to look. Okay, and then we want to go to style, and this is where we start to play around with the settings and make sure we've got the colors that we want. Okay, so let's say I wanted to go with a color of purple, so I can go there and just select purple, and then whatever I change, the color will stay the same. If you want to go with a smaller screen, then you can do that. This background here, you can change that at any time by going into the media assets, and then where you've got here, you can just click and that will change the background. You can upload your own background if you have like an office space that you want to have behind you. You can do that. Let me just go back and change the camera to the correct one that I would use. You can then go, and if you want to have rounded corners, you can do that. So you do also have the options of like different fonts I don't. I just leave them as they are for now because that font looks fine for me. Then under your important bit, under your media assets, if you want your live stream, if you want it to start with like a countdown so people know you're getting ready, you can go with, you could just pick a countdown and it will show you what that countdown will look like. Here's one of mine. So that was an intro that I created myself, cut. You can create your own intros and upload them yourself. That's perfectly fine. Then you can also select an outro as well. I don't, just because I haven't created one myself yet, but you can do that. And then you can just go down and you've got all the sound effects that you can want if you're during your live stream. Just different things like that. If you want to have background music playing during your streams, you would just click on one of the little pieces of music down here. As always, you can upload your own music. Be careful it's not copyrighted, otherwise your stream would probably get taken down. And then now this is where, in fact, before we go to the extra shows, you have your banners here. So if I wanted to have this banner, welcome to the cool kids table, you can add that on there and you can have it scrolling across the screen like that. You can hide it and then you can edit it to say whatever you want. You decide whether you want it to be like looping across the screen or you want it static, like just in the middle. That is everything that you would do there. And you can have as many of these as you want. That is a static banner that I have. And one that just runs across the bottom of the screen. Now, the comments. This is where StreamYard is really good. If you are in a live stream, you don't want to be, if you're streaming live via StreamYard, you don't necessarily want to be watching the live stream through your YouTube channel. You want to stay in StreamYard because that's where you can, like, if you was to invite a guest on screen with you, you would have to do that in StreamYard. So basically StreamYard is it's your studio, it's your hub, it's where everything happens, okay? Any comments that go to your YouTube channel, people who are watching on your channel, anytime they comment, those comments will appear here. So if I just type in hello guys, then you can, that comment appears here. And if I click on that, that will appear on screen, just there. Now, if you have a co-host, you can only have on one of the paid versions, then you as the main streamer, you could be talking to the camera and just answering questions and just looking at the screen, you know, make sure that pulling up any slides, or if you need to add any guests, you're just taking care of things like that. If you have a co-host, they can be paying attention to the live chat. They could be pulling comments up on screen to, if there's questions, you can answer the questions. If you need slides pulling up onto the show, they can do that for you as well. So they are basically your co-host. They're behind the scenes, but they can do almost everything that you can do yourself. So it just makes it easier having somebody else who can help you get things set up and make sure things are staying on track for you. So, and then if we click here, show comments on stage, every comment that appears will automatically appear down here in the bottom right hand corner, and everybody can see all the comments appearing on the screen. Now, if you are having a second guest joining you and that person is also streaming to their channel, any comments that are coming in on their channel, they will appear here on the right hand side underneath where my comment is, but they will, where I have the YouTube play button there, they will have a, like, it looks like a little paperclip, and anybody who is watching from your channel will not be able to see those comments unless you highlight those comments individually, and then you can read those comments out. The co-host can highlight all the comments for you, so it just gives you one less thing to worry about, you know. So that is, for me, that's something that is like good with StreamYard. So we go back over to media assets, and when we have this open, this is where you can create your multiple shows. Okay, so up here it says brand 1, so you can change the name of that just by clicking over here, rename the brand. So let's just go with brand 1 test. Okay, rename the brand. So this is one show. Say on a Monday you talk about fishing, on a Tuesday you talk about hunting, and each of those you want your background to be different, you want your colors to be slightly different, whatever that might be. You would then go and add a new brand. I have already done that. Here, the brainstorming, and you straight away the camera has changed to a circle, the color has changed to a blue, the background is all different, and again, going back to the first one, it's a completely, so they are your two separate shows all within the same studio. So you do not need multiple studios for each show. You can have one studio and have as many shows as you need to have. If you are ready to go live, you would click here, go live. But then do your live stream. When you finish doing your live stream, you would, over here it'll say end stream. So you would click that. Once the stream has ended and it has finished processing, which it does, it only takes a couple of minutes, you can then reschedule your next stream. So you start your stream 9 o'clock. I start my stream 9 o'clock on Monday. It gets to 10 o'clock, my stream finishes. I can then just go into here and schedule my next stream for a week later. I don't have to leave the studio. I can give it whatever I want to give it. And that is just, it saves so much time, so much effort. So let's come out of the studio by going to leave studio. And then, so that is our live stream studio. It's the exact same process for recordings. So you want to make sure that you're doing record audio and video, and again using the reusable studio. So studio test, and we're going to go into here. We're going to again just go in, and the let's call them channels or shows that we set up for the live stream, they will carry over. So if you wish to use them, you can use them. There's absolutely no reason why you can't use them. You see, I've got brand 1 test and then create a storming test, and you would add any destinations that you wanted to add if you was going to do that, and then you could either schedule the recording or you could just hit record straight away, do your video. Let me just change this back. You could hit record, do your video, end record, and then you would just leave the studio. When you need to do your next video, you would just go back into the studio and just change the title. You just go up here and give it whatever title you want to give it. Okay, so if you are going to be recording this to then edit it before you send it to your YouTube channel, I would not click this YouTube icon, because you obviously, it's when you're recording it, it will let you record it to your computer. And if you have multiple, say if you have 2 or 3 guests on the live stream with you, each of those guests will also get a recording sent to their computer from StreamYard. So they can then, if they want to send that recording to their YouTube channel, they can do that. If they want to edit it in some way, they can do that as well. Okay, so that is the basic set of getting things all rolling. We just go down a little bit. So we've covered the comments, we've covered the banners, the media assets, and the styles. The widgets let you create a poll for, if you're doing a live stream, you can enter the poll, let people vote. It could be who's going to win the World Cup final, for example. Put a poll and see what your audience thinks. It's a great way to get engagement for the audience, and it's just a lot of fun to do. You can even create your own QR code. So if you have a link for a merchandise store, or a coffee or anything like that, you can create a QR code for those, add that to your recording in the corner of the screen, and people can just scan that code and go straight to the destination, wherever that code is sending them to. Then down here we have the notes. So you can have the teleprompter if you have a teleprompter, and that will just jot down notes, and you can speak while looking at the screen. If you have a teleprompter, then you're going to be looking at the teleprompter and reading whatever it is on the screen there. But I don't have a teleprompter, so we'll take that off. But I can add notes here. So let's say stay on topic, and then if I am running away and not following my notes, then I can just be reminded, I can just remind myself. So the people, this is everybody who is in the actual stream with you. And if you want to, if there is somebody in the live chat, and you want to add them, invite them onto camera with you, you can do that by copying the link and just pasting that down in the chat, and then they can just click on it and they will join you on screen. Excuse me. You've got your private chat, which is only the people who are on camera will see that live chat. So the people watching the stream or watching the recording, they will not see what is being said down here. Okay, and then your recording, it gives you your recording settings, your details, and that is just the minimum of like what you would need to know. Across our layouts, obviously, if you have two people on screen or multiple people, you could then just have your layout a little bit different. If you want to do a slideshow, you can make yourself a little bit smaller. You can lower yourself down into the bottom corner. It's just so customizable in what you would do. Okay, so we'll come out of here. So there are the two studios that you can use for any recordings that you want to, or any live streams that you want to do. You can have multiple different shows within the same studio, and it is literally that simple to set up. Over on the left hand side, you go to your library. This will be a library of like your previous live streams or your previous recordings. Your destinations is all the places where you are sending your content to, your live streams to. And then your members will tell you who you have as a co-host. It will have their email address, their name, your email address, and your name. Obviously, I'm not going to click on that because I don't want to share other people's email addresses. And over on the right hand side here, it just lets you change it from the black mode to the white mode, or the light mode. The light mode is the default mode, and a lot of people do like that, but personally I think I like the black mode. I think that's the mode that I'm going to stick with. So okay guys, I hope this helped you in any way. If it did, let me know down in the comments, and if you have any questions, something that I have not answered that you would like to know about, let me know, and I will be sure to, if I don't answer the comments in the comments, I will make another video to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.